Loopcloud's editor has the ability to process sounds on every track with a number of different effects, which can be used to make minor changes to frequency content, depth, or character, or to radically transform sounds in weird and wonderful ways. Let's take a look. I'll search for guitar loops now, and I'll type dry into the box too, which will include samples with dry in the name. So I've just got samples without effects to work with. Now, to add effects, I just click the FX Edit switch. This opens up the FX chain above, which I can click to choose an effect to add. Effects all come with a number of presets. So let's add a synced delay to the guitar. Once an effect is in the chain, I can choose different presets from the menu on the device, or just step through them with the arrow buttons. And of course I can tweak them with the different controls on the effect. Clicking the plus button opens the menu again, so I can add more effects after the delay. And you can see some of these are automated, which we'll come on to in a moment. Effects can be easily moved around by dragging their headers, and turned on and off with the power switches. And now, exporting out the loop with the default current mix button setting, we'll export a processed version of the sample with any active effects in the chain added. Checking out this drum loop now, I'll get rid of the reverb and delay by clicking the crosses, and then add some of the new effects, starting with compressor. Which has some pretty hefty presets. And then there's EQ, which is a fully parametric 4-band EQ. Each band can be set to a filter, shelf, or bell curve, and then set up on the display or using the 3 dials. Bands can then be turned on and off with their green switches. And lastly, Tone Box is for adding saturation and other types of distortion, dirt, and also resonance to a signal. There are a load of different cabinets and drive modes to combine, so it can take the sound in all sorts of directions. You can also use the menu to save your effect settings as a user preset. Just to quickly introduce effects automation to you, I'll work with this pad loop now. And I'll add one of the filter LFO presets. I'll just bring down the resonance and drive a bit, so it's not so raucous. And now you can see in the editor, we're actually looking at the automation curve for the filter. And if I zoom in a bit, I can drag the breakpoint to change the timing of the cutoff modulation. If I want to create a different curve at any point, I can slice up the automation curve and then unlink sections to make them independent. Then I could have a slower timing for this beat. And maybe a ramp up for the third beat. And changing the waveform allows different curves to be used. If you want the effect to be bypassed at any point, you just remove the curve in that section by selecting it and hitting the Delete key on your keyboard. Undoing that though, we can now try out the pattern on some different samples. And any effects chains, along with automation that you create for them, can be saved into your user patterns presets. So at any point, you can instantly add your filter shaping to a sample by loading up the preset. And then export it out into your DAW as a new loop with the effects applied. So a wide range of options there for shaping sounds with the existing effects collection, and awesome new compressor, EQ, and tonebox additions.